A single silver spacecraft, a Galactic Alliance blockade runner firing lasers from the back of the ship, races through space. It is pursued by a giant starfighter. Hundreds of deadly laser bolts streak from the starfighter, causing the main solar fin of the craft to disintegrate. Several Alliance troopers take up positions in the main passageway. They aim their weapons toward the door. The nervous rebel troopers aim their weapons. Suddenly a tremendous blast opens up a hole in the main passageway and a score of fearsome armored squad members of Imperial defense troopers make their way into the smoke-filled corridor. In a few minutes, the entire passageway is ablaze with laser fire. The deadly bolts ricochet in wild, random patterns creating huge explosions. Laser bolts hit several galactic soldiers, who scream and stagger through the smoke, holding shattered arms and faces. Sage makes her way into the blinding light of the main passageway. Everyone instinctively backs away from the imposing warrior and a deathly quiet sweeps through the galactic troops. Several of the troops break and run in a frenzied panic. Kyylam stops before the small hatch of an emergency life pod. He snaps the seal on the main latch and a red warning light begins to flash. He begins to work his way into the two-man pod.
I've gotta escape fast before she finds me. Darn it.
Sage stands amid the dead bodies of her enemies. She grabs a wounded officer by the neck as she smiles. She squeezes tightly as the officer struggles in vain.
Would you be so kind to tell me why you're hiding, my little friend?
Sage lifts the captain off his feet using the force. Her smile quickly turned into a straight face. The captain refuses to speak but eventually cries out as Sage begins to squeeze the captain's throat, crushing his lungs as blood bursts through his throat, until the captain's body goes limp. Sage tosses against the wall and continues her search for Kyylam.
You won't escape me.
Sage senses something in the force as she feels Kyllam's presence fleeing the ship.
Fine. Run, Kai. Run. You've only prolonged the inevitable.
1 year later, the scene changes to Amber Adova, Jedi Padawan to Master Yoda, meditating. In her vision, she saw herself standing upon the ruins of a great temple. It was built from huge blocks of stone, reinforcing the interior walls, with elevators from subterranean levels to an open hangar. As she strides through the halls, she was surprised to find a young man who stood outside. Clad in dark Jedi robes, the young man had his back to her as he sat cross-legged, eyes closed. Amber smiles. She begins to hear echoes of many different voices and she is not sure what is going on. Her surroundings suddenly change to night, a barren, snowy woods. Amber looks confused and lost, and then the sounds of clashing lightsabers. She moves through the woods, toward the sound. Amber runs, heart pounding, when the young Jedi from before emerges from behind a tree. She stops, falls back. Aching, she sits up. She is on the floor in the meditation chambers of the Jedi Temple.
What in the world was that?
It is the treasure. You must see it.
I ever seen him, kid?
I killed them. I killed them all. After all, if you put them together, you're going slowly with the left. No, Anakin, no! My powers have doubled since the last time you met Count.
And the baby?
No, the dark side of the Force. I will not be able to save your wife from certain death. What did you say? You must live! No! Put it, Doc. Oh, shit. You will not take it from me! Your actions, your lust for power. You shall be done. You underestimate my power. The fate of allowed this dark lord to twist your mind until now. Until now you have become the very thing you swore to destroy. You were the chosen one! You will send them, you will destroy this thing, not join them! Bring balance to the force, not leave it in darkness!
Hear me? After the
Father? Master Obi-Wan? Even the Chancellor? What is going on? What's happening?
away from certain games. What did you say?
You must live! Ghost! What have you done?
Powerful Sith.
You will not take her from me! Your actions, your lust for power.
You shall be known
You underestimate my power! The fate of allowed this dark thought to twist your mind until now. Until now you have become the very thing you swore to destroy. You were the chosen one!
There is no escape.
You were sent to destroy this and not join them!
Join me. You will
Balance
complete
to
your
the force!
training.
I'll never join you!
Like Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough!
He told me you. Me. Civilized. I am your father.
Amber sits up, looks around. She notices she's sitting in the middle of a desert. She begins her journey across the desert. About 2 hours later, she walks to the edge of a massive dune, looks out and recognizes a small town. She walks down the main street of Mos Espa. She passes dangerous-looking citizens of all types. Amber looks around in awe at this exotic environment. Across the market,
This place. It feels so familiar, but strange as well.
across the marketplace, two thugs approach a young man and stop him. One tells him that he's coming with them. One pulls a sack over his head while the other bounds his hands together. Amber sees the boy trying to resist. She rushes over to help. She kicks, punches, and manages to defeat the thugs, who hit the ground hard. Amber pulls the sack off of the young man and removes a small pocket knife and cuts his bonds.
Are you alright?
Who are you?
My name is Amber, and you're welcome.
I'm Kyylam. By the look of you, you must be a Jedi. How did a Jedi end up out here?
Yes, but I'm not exactly sure where here is.
You're on Tatooine, obviously. Well, anyway, thanks for the help, but I've got to get going. See you around. Amber?
Wait! I need your help. I need to get back.
Then I suggest Mos Eisley. You might be able to find a pilot there who will get you back to where you need to belong.
Kyylam walks to a little plaza surrounded by several junk spaceship dealers. They head for a little junk shop that has a huge pile of broken spaceships stacked up behind it. Amber enters the dingy junk shop. Amber looks at Kyylam, not knowing what to say.
You're a slave?
I'd consider myself more of an orphan, you know? After my family was massacred when I was 7, I was taken to the mines of my homeworld and put to work mining kyber crystals. I managed to find a TIE fighter and fired up the controls and punched it. The only problem was, I had no idea where I was going. The next thing I knew, I ended up here and figured no one would search for me here, so I kept a low profile by helping people fix their old ships and eventually opened up my own little junk shop. Well, for people who needed a little fixing.
I see. My father is great at fixing things too. He's a great pilot. He eventually was freed by a Jedi Knight and became a powerful Jedi Knight as well. We are fighting a war that has taken the lives of many Jedi.
What war? Everyone
The Clone Wars, of course. You haven't heard of the Clone Wars?
everyone knows about the Clone Wars, but that was 180 years ago. You're a strange girl.
Amber realizes that she's in the future centuries after the Clone Wars. And knows that she has to find a way to the Jedi on Coruscant. Amber turns, and Kyylam looks sad as he watches her leave. Kyylam notices the wind beginning to pick up. He rushes after Amber.
Hey, wait. Do you have shelter? Sandstorms here are pretty dangerous. Come on, I'll take you to my place.
Amber follows Kyylam as he rushes down the windy street. The wind is blowing hard as Amber follows Kyylam down the street and into his home. Kyylam leads Amber into the other room. He shows off his robotic arm, which is lying on the workbench. Amber notices a lightsaber on his bed and picks it up.
A lightsaber? You're a Jedi?
Don't touch it. It's, well, I promise to keep it safe.
Safe? Safe from what?
Not what, but from who. Her name is Sage, or at least that's the name she chose to use. Let's just say she and I have a history.
I see. So have you ever tried to use this before?
Once, when I fought her, although I felt strange, as if something was guiding me, and I managed to escape her and somehow ended up here. That was a year ago.
I sense the force within you. Maybe I could help you learn to use it, if you like.
I'm not a Jedi.
But maybe you have the power to become one. Come on, what do you say? Then we can find a pilot to get me to where I need to go.
Alright, deal.
Sage and cloaked figure looks out over the vast city of Coruscant. The scene.
Finally, after all this time, I finally have you in my grasp, Kai. You won't escape me this time.
I've managed to track the target's location to the planet Tatooine. I'll have him in chains at your feet shortly.
Good. Now, go. Don't fail me this time.
The scene changes back to Amber watching Kyylam, studying his movements. Suspended at eye level, about 10 feet in front of Kyylam, a training remote floats. To one side then the other. Kyylam doesn't move and the ball backs off. It slowly moves behind him, then makes a quick lunge, this time emitting a red laser beam. As it attacks, it hits Kyylam in the arm causing him to tumble over. Amber puts a
Focus, Kai. You'll never block their attacks if you don't focus.
I've been at this all day. I need a break.
You think your enemies will just sit around and wait for you to take a break? I don't think so.
I really don't think I have the force or whatever it is.
Sure you do. Now I suggest you try again. This time act on instinct and let the Force guide you.
If you say so.
Now focus.
Kyylam swings his lightsaber around, missing the remote, which fires off a laser bolt which hits him in the arm. Kyylam stands in place, taking a deep breath. The remote makes a dive at Kyylam, and he manages to deflect the bolt. The remote shoots another blast to his head and he blocks it. The remote stops firing and moves back to its original position.
Impressive. You picked it up really quickly.
Thanks. Well, we should get some rest. I get the feeling it's gonna be a long day tomorrow.
The scene changes to nighttime. A sinister-looking Sith spacecraft lands on top of a desert. The Sith assassin walks to the edge and studies the landscape with a pair of electro-binoculars, then pushes buttons on her electronic armband. Two probe droids float out of the ship and head off in two different directions toward two cities they had detected nearby. The next day, the landspeeder with Kyylam and Amber in it zooms across the desert. The speeder pulls up in front of a blockhouse cantina on the outskirts of the spaceport. Various strange forms of creatures entered and left from the cantina.
You really think we're gonna find a pilot here?
Yeah, but you might want to watch your step, though. This place tends to get a bit rough from the rumors that I've heard.
The two head inside the smoke-filled cantina. They sit in a booth where a Mandalorian is sitting. He is tough, a bit of a roguish fellow, with a lightsaber on his arsenal belt. Zadal.
Zadel Creed Hollow. I'm captain of the Great Deviant. Judging by your friends, appearance. I say she's a Jedi. I've been trained by the Mandalorians and the Jedi. I pride myself on being one of Mandalore's top warriors. I'm also a deadly bounty hunter. So what can I do for you two?
My friend here is looking for passes to Coruscant.
I say that she's picked the right person for the job. So, what's the cargo?
Only passengers. Myself, my friend Kyylam, and no questions.
Sounds like you both trying to keep off the grid.
Let's just say it's better that way for the time being.
Arsenal belt. Zadal ponders this for a few minutes. Kyylam.
Alright, you got yourself a ship. We'll leave in an hour on the outskirts.
All the way in the outskirts?
Don't worry, I know how to reach it. Although I never said I was coming along, you know.
Yeah, you're coming along. I'm not just gonna leave you here on a planet like this and scrounge around. I'll take you with me to the Jedi in Coruscant, and maybe they can help us somehow.
So you're both Jedi then.
I am, but he's not there yet. But if he keeps up his training, I've no doubt he'd make a great Jedi one day.
Let's get moving. What was that?
Kyylam runs to join Amber, who has already started down the street. As they walk together, Amber notices something out of the corner of her eye. Suddenly, she ignites her lightsaber, swings around, and lunges forward and cuts a lurking probe droid in half.
It's a probe droid. Strange. I think we're being followed. Come on,